Privyet, comrades. TF come here. I'm back. I'm back from the dead. I'm back from the dead. Now, I'm trying to figure out...
In 800 feet, turn right onto South Broadway Avenue.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Thank you. I want to record a video, but I really need my GPS on. So, thankfully, yes, it does do the same thing today.
Take the next right onto South Broadway Avenue.
I'll have to be quiet during those times, I guess. There's a lot to start, where to start, you know, alright. Okay. So, I'm on my way to Terrell, which is about an hour and a half away. I'm going to be dropping off my cats. They're going to be babysat. 2 of them are being babysat, Dante and Remy. And Loki is going to stay there. I'm going to miss him greatly, obviously. But, you know, what can you do? What can you do? I'm trying to make sure I know what... Okay, I'm going to eventually turn left. Yeah, what can you do? You know, my new apartment will only allow 2 cats. And, you know... But then why are they being babysat if I have my apartment? I don't have my apartment. And that's, I think, where I want to start, I guess. You know, I'm going to start from the beginning. For those of you who don't know, you probably would by this point. I met these 2 people. I'm not going to say names. I probably should. I don't even care anymore. You know, screw them. Whatever. I met these 2 people when I was homeless. I was living out of my car. And I guess I'll explain that too. I had a boyfriend who was very sweet. Very sweet. Like, he didn't seem mean. That's, I guess I'll phrase it. I had a boyfriend and he just kind of... You know, he knew I had a lot of emotional issues and baggage and stuff. But he'd get really upset whenever I wouldn't, like, share with him and stuff like that. Like, it, like, pissed off. You know, we need to have a conversation about this. It's like, you know, I told you many times, it's very difficult for me to talk about these things, you know. And he'd, like, want, like, a full-blown conversation about the smallest little thing, like, who does dishes. He'd want, like, a 10-minute conversation about talking about why I think dishes are important, you know, to do. And it's just like, I don't know. It didn't work out, but we were still friends. And, well, I thought, then one day I come home from work and he had all his stuff packed up in the living room, which is really weird, of course, since it wasn't packed up when I left for work, which was only like a few hours before, like maybe a 5-hour shift in work or something like that. They had it all packed up, and we had started by sharing a bedroom, and once we had broken up, he started sleeping on it. He had,
In 1,000 feet, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto West-Southwest Loop 323.
We had like a little futon thing, and he slept on that, which I didn't say he had to or anything, but, you know, he was willing to do it, and it was okay. You know, okay.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto West-Southwest Loop 323.
But... So yeah, we headed, I came home, everything's all packed up. He says he will be gone, but he said I'm leaving in the morning.
Continue on West-Southwest Loop 323 for 7 miles.
And I was like, you know, let's talk about this. You're the one who always wants to talk about everything. Let's talk, like, why the fuck are you leaving, you know? And I'm like, you know I can't afford this on my own. We barely skimmed by alone. And he's like, well, I have money issues, and I can't afford it anymore. And it's like... So you think I can? I mean, that's something you talk about with someone, and then you make a plan or something like that. You should probably get gas. Probably should get gas, damn it. But, you know, it's something you kind of talk about. You don't just, like, boom. Boom. So, it was really weird. Obviously, I was like, what the fuck, you know, but I'm like, we'll talk about this, it's like 11, 12 o'clock at night, let me just sleep, you know, we'll discuss this in the morning. Well, I get a phone call at like 5 or 6 a.m. No, it was probably like 8, because I think that's when the place opened. The office opened. Saying, why the fuck aren't you at the office? Get down here immediately. And it's like, what? I need your permission to sign me off of the lease. And I'm like, I'm not signing you off the lease. Obviously, no way in hell. If I'm going down, you're going down with me. You know I can't do this alone. And he obviously didn't like that. So I came down to the office just to figure out what the fuck is going on, you know? And the office said, okay, we need you to sign and provide proof that you can afford the place on your own so that he can be signed off the lease. And I'm like, I can't afford the place on my own. Well, can you get a co-signer? Nope, I can't get a co-signer. And they're like, well, then you're breaking lease. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It definitely wasn't my goal, believe me. I love this place, but apparently I can't live here anymore. And his mom was being like real bitchy and stuff like that, like, you know, glaring at me and hating on me and everything else. And I think he told her that I was really bad or something. I don't know. But there was a lot of issues between us, and that's basically what started it all. We had a lot of fights, and it just got, you know, bad. So it brings me to the case where I was living out of my car, alone. I had dropped off my cats at my mom's house, like I'm doing now, and I dropped off my rats there too. And so I was living 100% out of my car. I would pull over at like restaurants, 24-hour places to go to the bathroom or whatever. I was living in my car, and that's all I had. And there was nothing I could do about it. That's just what I had to do. And I lived in there for about a month or two before I met, I'm going to say it, Casey and Eli, which were the two my current roommates. Yeah, he has the same name as me. It's kind of funny. I thought it was funny. They were sweet. They treated me like they're my parents. You know, they're like protecting of me, teaching me things. You know, they're being insanely kind and sweet, generous, and it was just like, I hit the mother load, you know? Those are pretty lights. It just seemed like an amazing relationship here, and I was like, holy fucking god, you know, I have family now, and it's felt amazing. They had a place lined up. Well, they said they had a place lined up. That place fell through. It was like 3 different places fell through, so it was really weird. But eventually, you know, they said they had a place. It was his aunt's. It wasn't blood relation, but like they grown up with her all around, like around them all the time. So it was a weird situation. I don't know, but you know, family, whatever. It was her house. Apparently, she had died, and they were looking to rent out the place, which seems a little morbid to me. But okay, you know, I guess it's already paid off or whatever. You make some money off of it to pay for funeral costs. I don't know. And they'd done through a few tenants before, so we would be like towards, you know, we'd be, I think, number 3 or 4 or something like that. So okay. It seemed very strange to me. I was supposed to have my own place, like my own little like mother-in-law cabin thing. If you guys seen those, they're so cute. That's what I was supposed to have, and then I come there and I'm like, I don't have my cabin, and they're like, well, no, but you get your own bedroom. And it's like, that's not my cabin. But I was willing to put up with that because, I mean, whatever. I was homeless. I needed something, obviously. Then we started having a lot of issues with the landlord, where she'd randomly barge in. She would throw a big fit about, like, she'd randomly barge in one day, and there may be like some poop on the floor or peephole or something like that, and she'd throw a huge fit saying we're damaging the property, blah blah blah. This is my mother's house. It's so important, and it's like, yeah, it was important. Yes, we get that. Animals pee. You know, you knew we had animals. We weren't home. You know, there's no way for us to have known that the cat peed on the floor. You know, or she would come in when we are home, and you know, be mad that our shoes are by the door. And it's like, well, where do you want us to put them? You know, and just, she was very high maintenance, and we would even do like above and beyond what she said. Like, she would tell us certain things she wants us to do, and we would do those. And then she's like, well, no, that's not good enough. You know, like, she was very much, you could tell she felt it was too personal of a situation for her, and that's why I don't think she should have been renting out her mother's house, you know. But she did, and, you know, and we were like mentioned, you know, in the lease, it does say, you know, amount of animals we have, it does say that you're supposed to give us at least 24-hour notice to come into our house. You can't come in when we're not here unless it's an absolute emergency. You know, like there's a lot of rules in the lease, which we typed the first few lines of it, and it came up some little like high school sample lease thing. So it's not even like a real lease. She just kind of Googled it. But, you know, she'd been walked over by a lot of tenants, and they, like, you know, damaged the walls and everything else, and we'd heard really crappy things about this, so we weren't going to, you know, we were going to be, we did not like it. We told her, you know, we don't like you doing this, but we understood that, you know, she felt that this was a personal situation. She needed to be there and help us out and stuff, you know, help out for her mom and stuff like that. And whatever. She just very much was in our space a lot, and I didn't like the idea of someone coming into my house, you know, like, yeah, you may go there, but it's like, you're not supposed to be in my house, you know, so don't be coming in my house. Sorry, I keep checking the map, be like, am I still going the right way? Okay, I'm gonna need to get in the left lane. Are you kidding me? Okay. But yeah, it was like, you're in my house, what the fuck, but she was never there while I was there. So I guess I was at work or at class or something, because they would tell me all these stories about it, blah, blah. Well, then we get, her texting. She texts him or calls him or something. She calls Eli, you know, the other Eli, the man of the house. She calls him or texts him or something like that and says, you know, you need to get out. You need to be out by tomorrow. I already have another tenant, you know, you need to get out. And we're like, no, you can't do that. Even if we broke, like, the law, you still can't kick us out within, you know, you can't give us 24 hours to get out of the house. Like, even in a situation where we're, like, getting arrested or something, you still, I think, have to give a week notice. Or a week, you know, get out. And had another tenant lined up, you know. We did find out she still had the house listed. She even now still has the house listed as for sale. Or for rent, you know, even though we've been living in there for months now. So, you know, fun. So she probably did have another tenant lined up. So, you know, he plain and simply tells her, you know, you can't make us leave without giving us enough time to find a new place, and without having an actual written notice. What is it called? First with a W, I think. Not withdrawal, it's, what is it called? I feel like I'm gonna remember this, like, 2 minutes later. Warrant to leave, maybe? No, that doesn't sound right. I don't know, man. I know what I'm talking about there. So, no, but you know what I mean? Like, she has to have the note that says, you know, you've been kicked out, blah, blah, you have this amount of time to do it. Like, it has to be written in writing and pasted to the door, whatever. Well, I come home, and there's a note to the door about a week later or so saying we're kicked out. And it's really messed up because, first of all, my name's not even on it. So I'm not kicked out, I can stay. His name, she put Eli, and he's trans like me, and his name hasn't been changed legally. So, Eli doesn't live there. According to the lease, it's still, you know, the old name. So, technically, she's not kicking him out. There's no Eli in existence, you know. And then, his wife's name, she misspelled her first name, and then put, I think she put his last name, but spelled wrong, and she didn't even take his last name. So it's like, I don't even know. So technically, no one was really kicked out, and she could have looked at the lease for like 2 seconds and seen that, you know. But whatever. He's all talking with his dad and everything like that, and all of the family member, I think it's the aunt's daughter, so the cousin or something like that. But he's all talking with him, you know, trying to be like, you know, hey, we need to work this out, blah, 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 blah. And they're even saying, like, Mom, you're going crazy, you know, you can't do this, da, da, da. And, you know, So we all seem to be on the same page. This woman's crazy, you know? Making sure I'm still not missing my stop. It hasn't talked to me in a while. We're like, what the fuck? What's that? Is that a message? No, it's something else. Okay. So this woman's crazy, you know? But what can you do? So we go, she sends us a police thing. No, that's not what it's called. Jesus, I can't remember the terms of this thing. The thing saying you have to appear in court. We're taking you to court. We're suing you, whatever. You know, that thingy. I want to say warrant. It's not a warrant, though. I don't know what it's called. Subpoena? No, that's not right. Whatever. She sends that to them. Again, has the names wrong on it. But they decide, you know, whatever. We're going to actually go to court for this. You know, we're going to figure out what's going on. They got a lawyer. And this is the part where it may be true or not true. So they got a lawyer. They were talking with said lawyer, blah blah, about different plans and stuff, and
in a quarter mile, turn left onto Texas 110 South.
And the court, apparently they went to court without telling me, which was really weird. But they went to court, according to them, and they lost the case, which I can't see a reason why they would lose, you know. So I was like, what have you guys done?
Turn left onto Texas 110 South.
I was like, you guys had to have done something, because, you know, she's saying we did damage property, and they ruled in her favor, so what the fuck did you guys do, you know? Like, I was kind of like, the fuck? I didn't say anything to him about it. I just kind of was like, you know, this doesn't sound right. It sounds kind of off. Is there something you're not telling me? And they're like, no, you know, it's just, I'll let you know, so yeah. And
continue on Texas 110 South for 14 miles.
so, you know, whatever. They said they're appealing it, so they're going to go to a different court thing, and you bring evidence, you know, of all the stuff like that, like, you know, this is the lease, she wasn't supposed to be there to begin with, you know, like things like that. Bring evidence and stuff like that, you know, so that we're not damaging the house, so we're going to take a picture of each room, and then bring that to the court. And that's when it starts getting iffy. Because I clean my room as much as I can, but I don't have a vacuum or a carpet cleaner, and as obviously the animals have been peeing in my room. At this point, it was just them misbehaving. Later on, they actually trained them to do so. But at this point, it was just misbehaving animals, you know, and peeing in my room. So we get to the point that, you know, I'm like, it's the day before court, you still haven't done it. Yeah, they told me that, you know, they don't want anyone touching their vacuum or their carpet cleaner, you know, it's a personal thing, blah blah blah. They'd rather them do it than me do it. And I get that, you know, certain things, you know, it's personal. You don't want anyone to touch your things. And maybe it's an important thing, maybe it's worth a lot of money, I don't know. I was like, okay, you know, I get that, you know, go ahead. I get that it's probably really important to you, you know, da-da-da. And she said, I will do it tonight. I'll clean it up, you know. And I was like, cool. So it doesn't get cleaned. It still doesn't get cleaned before court. So I was like, maybe they just went without taking a picture of my car. I have my car in my room. I was like, that seems a little odd though. And you know, but they said that the court ruled in our favor, temporarily. Like they're gonna let us live there and pay rent to them, the court, you know, until we have the mess sorted out. So we're not being kicked out, basically. And now, that's something I forgot to mention. According to the family member or whatever, the landlord, rent and stuff hadn't been paid, and we weren't paying bills. Now, I had been paying money to them, and they claim to have been paying bills, and I trusted them because at this point this lady sounds crazy to begin with, so obviously you know that she must be trying to get anything on us to make herself seem less crazy. So you know, I get that obviously. Never been down this road, and it's really weird. It's wiggly wobbly and really high speed. Where the fuck is it taking me today? Oh shite, I can't make that turn. Okay. They have these signs, you know, it says, you know, don't take this turn at, or the recommended speed or something like that is this speed limit, you know. And usually you can still go above that and be fine. That turn, I was going at that recommended speed limit, and I still couldn't make it. I had to go way under it. So, bad sign. But, whatever. So, yeah, she was crazy. I guess that should have been the first sign there that something was wrong. They said, you know, we get this sorted out, we paid the court, and a few more months have passed. I kept giving them money for utilities and everything. Nothing had been shut off or anything, so I assumed everything's fine. Well, one day water goes out, and it's like, what? I assumed it's the whole neighborhood or something, and I was like, I didn't know what's going on. I have school, I can't call. If water doesn't come on by like an hour or two, do you mind calling? I asked Casey, do you mind calling to see what's going on, you know, and everything like that. And she's like, no problem. I want water too, obviously. And I was like, yeah. So, when I get home, she's like, yeah, you know, I talked to the water people. They said there's a lot of people out in our neighborhood, blah, blah, you know, it's, they're gonna try to fix it, and it should be out by tomorrow. And I was like, cool, awesome. Tomorrow rolls around, and at the end of the day, it's still not up, and I'm just like, hey, what's going on? So, again, you know, I have school and class and stuff, and she's like, okay, so I talked to them again, and they think it's, and they said that there's, so many issues right now. They're trying to figure out what the issue is and why we don't have water, since there's so many people that have the issue. There was a construction place nearby, so they were trying to figure out if they bumped a pipe or da-da-da. You know, if maybe they hit something, and that's what caused the issues. So, frustrating, you know. Then there's about a week without water, and that's, for me, it's an absolute emergency situation to be without water for even a day. We had no water for a week at that point, and we were getting pretty pissed off, or at least I was. I was like, I'm going to call the place myself, and they're like, don't do that, they won't speak to you, because your name is not on the lease, and my name's not on the lease. For whatever reason, even though she knew I was living there, she's like, well, I only have 2 blanks for signatures, just don't even bother signing it, which sounded weird to me, but whatever, you know. I assumed it was their family deal thing there. Cool. So they won't be able to talk to you since your name's not on the lease. And I was like, okay then. Yeah, that's weird, but okay. I guess I get that. That's kind of annoying. So then they say that they talked to the water people again, and they said they found out that it's probably a pressure issue, water pressure issue. So they're going to send someone down to look at the water pressure gauge, like that, to see what's up with it, blah blah. And no one gets sent, and I'm getting really angry now, and Casey's getting kind of annoyed at me, keep asking. But you know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because I have no water. It's a huge deal, you know. I need to bathe, I need to I need to give water to my animals, I need to, I need to cook, I need to do anything, you know, like water is insanely important. You don't realize how important it is until you don't have it. So, then she's like, they said that they will send someone out within the week. And within a week, that seems kind of, I kind of called her out on that. I was like, within a week? Like, that seems really ridiculous. They should have had this fixed within like 2 hours. You know, like, this is an emergency situation. Why is it not being fixed? And she's like, well, they said since our toilet still works, they're not going to come out. It's not an emergency. Which I guess I understand. It still pissed me off like crazy, because it's like, no, they can't decide what's emergency or not. This is an emergency. But whatever. So then the situation goes where it's been, you know, that whole week passes and they still aren't here. So I'm like, what's going on? She called. She said she called, and they said that they'll get to it when they get to it. They're very busy building roads and stuff, and they can't focus on water right now. We're not a top priority. Which, that sounded fucked up to me. First of all, you're not a top priority. We are suffering. Roads can wait, obviously. Second of all, roads and water are not even from the same company. So they're not even the same branch of the, like, township or whatever, you know, like, that sounds fake. You know, whatever, they keep saying they're sending someone, you know. So, after, a month with no water, no, it was 3 weeks with no water. It wasn't a month. It may have been a month with no water. Our gas goes out. And they don't tell me this. We've started already having a bit of grumbling animosity towards each other. They started being very hateful to me, and I guess it was because I was bugging them so much about the water, but I mean, like, this is literally an emergency situation. You know, what are we gonna do? I'm crawling in bugs. Like, I was crawling in bugs. There was bugs all in my sink. There was maggots in the sink. Like, this is literally a situation where we can't let these things sit. We have to clean things. We have to do this. And there's no way to do that without water. I ended up shaving all my hair off just for sheer, you know, hygiene. And even then, it's still a greasy mess. But what could I do? So, you know, I don't really know what I'm going to do, you know, blah, blah, blah. We get to, so yeah, he says that, you know, he hasn't, well, what they tell me, so we have this little animosity, and I'm clicking on the stove, you know, trying to get it to light, because it's really hard to light that stove. It's a gas stove, and it's like, click, click, like, it's very difficult to do. Sometimes we have to get a lighter, like, it's an old stove, and it has a lot of issues. It was supposed to be replaced when we moved in, just like our washer and dryer, but of course neither of those ever got replaced. Oh no, our dishwasher too. So stove, dishwasher, washer and dryer, all were supposed to be replaced within a week of us moving in. Obviously that didn't happen. And you can see, because the landlord's fucking crazy. So, you know, whatever. So it's an old stove. I was struggling. I left my hamburger meat I set it out to thaw all day. I was very, very, very hungry, and they'd been there all day, so they obviously saw it sitting on the counter thawing. And I went and bought all these fancy stuff. I was going nachos. I was thawing out hamburger meat, and I had my nice blocks of cheese. Like, I was fully out. I got the expensive chips. You know, I was gonna do fancy nachos. And so I'm trying the stove, I'm like, why the fuck isn't it working, you know? I don't know what's going on. All our dishes were a disgusting mess because we weren't able to wash them, which pisses me off because they're not even their dishes, they're my dishes. They shouldn't have even used them to begin with. And they never washed them anyway, so it always made me mad to begin with, but I wasn't going to start. I didn't want to start a problem, you know? I didn't want to start a fight. And that's how I viewed it would have been, because even if they were in the wrong, I'm still starting the argument, you know? So I didn't want to say anything. You know, it's kind of like, you wash your dishes, then you can use mine, but I'm not a confrontational person. I'm terrified of everything, you can tell. So I wasn't going to do anything. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to be like, okay, whatever. I'll be silently sulking in my head, maybe grumble to my friend. But whatever. So I go and I'm struggling with the stove, can't get on. An hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours later, he's in the living room, you know, he wasn't doing anything. He didn't have headphones in or anything. Like, he obviously heard what I was doing, heard me grumbling, heard me complaining for 2 hours almost. And then he said, you know, he's like, you know, it's not gonna work. I didn't pay the bill. And so it's like, well, what the fuck? First of all, why would you not pay the bill? Second of all, you couldn't have told me that 2 hours ago. And so I even said, you know, wow, that would have been great to know 2 hours ago. And slammed the pan down and walked out. Because I was pissed off, you know, obviously. Anyone would be at that point. And, you know, anyone would be pissed off at that point. So, then it gets to the point, you know, he says he'll pay it tomorrow. Okay. So I'm expecting to try again tomorrow. It's still not working. I'm going to assume he didn't pay it because, you know, I didn't have anyone telling me why it wasn't working. It just wasn't clicking. It wasn't working, you know. And I try again almost every single day that week, you know, trying to figure out why the fuck the stove's not working. And I was like, maybe we need to call someone to get it fixed. And they're just like, no, it's... And I'm like, and so I was like, you know, was there a late fee or something that we had to pay for the gas, and that's why it's not working? And he's just like, no, the stove's just broken. And it's like, okay. So I was like, you know, stove's broken, whatever. The oven had always worked. The stove, I told you, has issues all the time. The oven never had an issue whatsoever. I go and get a pizza from the, you know, Walmart, so it's not like, it's like a frozen pizza. And I get it for pretty cheap because it expires that night. Like, expires like an hour. And I'm gonna cook a pizza. And it sits in the oven for hours and hours and hours. I can feel a slight heat from the oven, but it's not getting hot. It's not getting more than like 10 degrees. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm trying. Hours later, it's like 5-6 hours later, I give up and make a note saying make a note that says oven's not working. You know, because it's not. They get mad and put the pizza in the fridge, which, okay, even if the pizza wasn't going to go bad, you never put a pizza in the fridge, you put it in the freezer, you know. Especially frozen pizza, it'd be all soggy and gross in the fridge. Well, that's the way it was, you know, whatever, so I wasn't going to touch it. I was pissed off, insanely, and at that point there was a lot of animosity